Hey, let me start today off with a great question. Are your beliefs and expectations propelling you towards your goal, or are they holding you back from your goal? I know that I'm gonna touch on this a little bit later on in today's session. We've got a lot of stuff to cover today. I'm glad you're joining us. If you are over, let me know where you're at. Are you on Facebook, YouTube, X, or over on the Instagram account? Just say hi, be a little bit courteous and say aloha and show me some love. Anyway, so where are you calling in from? Just drop a note down in the chat box. I'd appreciate that. So yeah, this topic is just really, really on my heart here lately. Um, Especially since so many traders typically never reach, hey Jake, how you doing? Never reach their full potential as traders. Now, what causes that? And so a couple of things that can cause a person not to do that is they walk into trading with unrealistic expectations. In other words, they walk in and say, I'm going to turn $1,000 into $1 million in this year. And they have neither the resources and or the skill to be able to do something like that, because that's a pretty tall order. So one of the things in developing, and ask yourself the question, this is a great thing to drop into your journal, is ask yourself the question, what are my expectations for my trading? Some people start trading because they want to replace a full-time job. Well, one of the suggestions that I've heard, and I suggest back to people also, is that's an excellent goal to have if you have a long enough time frame or window to learn how to be a master trader. Now, that requires a lot of different stuff, like getting yourself a mentor and this type of thing to help you become a master trader, and a lot of hard practice, a lot of practice. And so oftentimes the dedication or the expectation of I'm going to make $1 million or I'm going to replace my salary is more or less just a pipe dream. It's not really, it's not real. I mean, because the person hasn't measured the costs it's going to take to get to that point. Now, some people do, and they plan out and plot it out exactly how they're going to achieve that particular aspect of becoming a great trader so that they can replace their salary. I'll give you one of my first tips. If you're trying to replace your salary right now, and you want to basically become a full-time trader, if there is such a thing, then I encourage you, replace your monthly and even your yearly salary for a year while you're still working, still drawing in that salary. Prove to yourself that you can be a winner. And you establish winning habits along the way, so then you can count on that when you do cut the cord and walk away from that full-time job. So yeah, that's the first thing we want to take a look at. So hey, let's jump in and see what the heck's going on with the news. Of course, you're all aware that the Fed did not raise rates today, and they basically made some noise that they want to do a full 3 rate cuts this year. But I find it really interesting as we look right here on the divided Fed still sees 3 rate cuts this year. And of course, the initial response by the S&P was to rally on that. So let's dig into this just a little bit more and see what it says. It says basically we don't want to listen to her. Shh, be quiet. She's one of the IBD reporters. Federal Reserve rate cut projections show that policymakers still expect 3 quarter point rate cuts this year, despite the recent uptick in inflation and surging stock market. After releasing the updated Fed rate cut outlook, the S&P moved higher. And then we're still in the process of Jerome Powell doing his report. And so we'll see what anybody has to say about that. Oftentimes, depending on what the Fed chair has to say, it will drive the market either one way or the other. Right now, it appears as if the market is reacting very well to what Jerome is saying. What if they call him Jerry for short? What do you guys think? Do you think that if you think they call Jerome Jerry for short, just put a Y down in the comment section. Do you think you call him Jerry? What do you think his nickname is? That's what I want to know. What is Jerome Powell's nickname? Maybe it's Powell. Anyway, so here's the projection to get down by the end of 2024 to 4.5 to 4.75. If that happened, that would certainly help the housing industry, drive that, and a lot of different things, and also could spur the small cap Russell index into continuing its uptrend. So that's number one. What else we got going on today? Magnificent 7 stock to buy and watch is Nvidia falls and Tesla rallies. We'll take a look at those stocks to see what's going on there. Yeah, what else we got going on here? BioNTech hits 3-year low as COVID vaccine sales plummet 65%. I tell you, 50 for 1. Wow, that's a biggie. Chipotle plans 50 for 1. That is and that's got to be a typo. Does anybody know what that is? Is it 50 to 1 or is it less than that? Yeah, drop a note down here. So no takers on Jerome Powell's nickname, huh? Okay. I'm going to remember you guys. Nvidia, basically great. They priced their new chip aggressively to maintain their market share. Nvidia, lots of different stuff. There's a vehicle thing. And then, did you read this article on Donald Trump? If this merger goes through, he basically will have a windfall. I think it said, did it say $4 billion? It was a lot. And so anyway, I won't go into that. And then Tesla stock, a buy or a sell. Negative headlines continue to slam to Tesla. And the Q1 delivery miss is apparently likely. We'll see what transpires with that. What else we got going on here as we drop down? There's the last one on that. One of the things to learn about trading around the Fed date is that typically you're going to get an initial reaction the day the Fed meets and they make their announcement. The market is going to either rally or fall. And then it takes approximately 2 to 3 days after that for the people to digest, the analysts to digest what the Fed actually said. And then if it is positive, then the market will continue to rally. Or the flip side of that, if they take a look at it and say, this doesn't taste too good, and it'll drop down the other way. So the time around the Fed is a very volatile time. For stocks around the Fed, the indexes around the Fed meeting time, and then for individual stocks, it happens to be around the time of their earnings, and those when you can be, it's most volatile and also harder to predict what's going to be taking place. It's basically just a flip of the coin to see what is going to be taking place. So what else we got going there? So that looks like primarily we're looking at the Magnificent 7, but I want to hit on a couple of stocks also towards the end of the day that was on our radar list, and we actually got our AutoPilot trading members into these, we basically put them out as suggestions on some Bitcoin or some crypto miners that really took off like a rocket ship if you were able to get into it. One of them hit 20%. The other one's stood up about 14% in one day. I love those kind of moves. And so we'll cover that in just a bit. Let me go ahead and go here and stop screen share. And then let me go on to the next entity, and we're going to start off with, we're going to start in the middle of the pack. On the Magnificent Seven. There we go. So I am going to move. Can I do that? Maybe I can't do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of my picture here for a second, or get it way down there. It's really small so you can see around me. And so what I'm looking at here is a picture of, or the chart of Nvidia. And what is Nvidia doing? And one of the things, it looks like to me, it's putting in a nice little bull flag that is driving back down towards this uptrend line. The momentum lines are, at least the TSI is stopping at about the positive 20 level. That oftentimes is a level of strong support if, and this is a big if the stock is in a strong uptrend. I think we can all agree that Nvidia is in a strong uptrend. I mean, look at that. That's pretty good. Now, should I be concerned about today's candlestick, or this week's candlestick? This is the weekly chart. A couple of things that I am eyeballing and keeping my eye on is what's going on with the, there we go. What's going on down here with the, we'll get in there. The momentum on the TSI. Also, it looks like the RSI is turning to turn over. The market forecast is also starting to head down. However, my price action has not started to head down at all. We've had one heck of a nice move since the beginning of the year on NVDA. NVDA, since the end of last year, actually got up as high as 96%, which is absolutely phenomenal. And now we're getting just a nice little pullback. One of the things I will be addressing, I'm going to show you this little trick that not a trick. It's a one of the things that I've been making some refinements on entering trades. And so I will basically be, talking about that, some really great triggers for doing that. And so, Jorge, you're absolutely right. I mean, it looks like we're holding some right there about the, well, actually, there's some horizontal support there, about somewhere between the 860 down to, I would say, 833, somewhere in that zone. And will it hold? That's a great question. Now, what kind of, I think a great question to ask, though, on NVIDIA is this. What kind of, let me get my arrow out here. What kind of a candlestick on the weekly charts do I have shaping up? Well, 3 weeks ago, I have a shooting star, which is a bearish reversal signal. A bearish reversal signal. That is still in effect. So how do I interpret that? Well, the high there for that week was up at about 974. So that becomes my ultimate level of resistance. And however, the bottom side of that candlestick is also a gap up. So the lower part of that becomes my lower level of support. And so right now, price action is moving in between those two. We have not broken structure to the downside. I would love it if we came back down to the 8-week moving average for a bounce higher. That would be awesome. And then let's take a real quick look at the monthly. The monthly is just continuing to push higher. Do we have any? So that's about it. Now, if we break this flag right here, look for Nvidia to at least run back up into that past high about the 974 level. This could be see what this rally attempt does. If the rally attempt moves up, however, it is on low momentum, that's a clue that this could basically be a indication that price actions would pull back more on NVDA to a lower level. One of the things to keep an eye on is the last time, let me go over here to it doesn't show up on that one. But the last time we did get the momentum shifting down to the downside, take a look to your left. How far did it really drop? Not that far. I mean, gosh, here's this drop here. I think this whole run, there's 10%. The whole run that Nvidia has done over the last 2.5 years, the pullback, maximum amount of pullback has been right about that 10 to 11%. 10 to 11%. So, yeah, on the issue of the Bitcoin halving event expected in April, I don't have any information on that at this particular point. Right now, the Bitcoin miners are definitely doing a nice rally to the upside. So this is Nvidia. What else do we want to take a look also at? Let's start it. So Nvidia, and the one that's rallying is Tesla. So Tesla, is a bottom in on Tesla? I don't know. The thing that makes Tesla very suspect to me is that it's still in a big downtrend. Price action came down, dropped below the downtrending channel line, and is now rallying back up. We may close above the 8-day moving average today. Where's its upside target? Well, clearly the top of the Kelner channel, or perhaps its last time it did this, its target was right at the 34-day moving average. So as long as it's below the 34, below the 50, I would look at any rally attempt on Tesla as an opportunity to short Tesla. I believe it basically short, that would give us an opportunity to short Tesla. What would change my mind? Okay, that's a great question. Follow up. What would change my mind would be if Tesla, and unfortunately my drawing tools don't work on this side, but if Tesla came up from here, came up and hit into that area there, then did a pullback that didn't get back or got close to the past lows, and then stopped with positive divergence of my momentum, and then rallied from there. That would be my clue to that's where I'd want to be buying Tesla, because Tesla still has some, this could just be a quick zigzag to the upside, and then let me get rid of that. A zigzag to the upside for then a stronger move to the downside. There we go. As we talked last week, we've got a first target is down here at 152. Second target is down at 118. Third target is down at 101. And the fourth target, actually, there's a fourth target in between here based on the width of the channel, which is down at about $85. $85. Could Tesla get that low at this time? We don't know. However, that is Tesla possible starting phase B of the Wyckoff phases. Yeah. You take that back? Okay. All right. I just got filled on something. I wonder what it was. No, I'm not going to go run off and find out what it was. And so, yeah, we've been having some really good days. So Tesla. So that's two of the leverage and two of the Magnificent Seven. Let's go ahead over here and take a look at, start back with Apple. Okay, Apple, similar type situation with, we came down, hit a past low over here. I'll expand that out just a little bit. As you can see, it got that down into a level of, no, so there were buyers sitting right over here. So now we're doing a nice rally back up. Similarly to Tesla, Apple is in a downtrend. Apple is in a downtrend. And so I will watch this. Do I want to short Apple? I don't know. Not really. We did break structure, though, on that downtrend, which is a positive sign for Apple. As you can see, we've pushed on up. Now, that's the intraday chart. Let me get you a blow up on this a little bit closer. There we go. And so we are breaking structure. The market for the momentum has shifted up to the upside. And so in reality, Apple is looking pretty good. However, since this was a lower low on this recent move down, I'll look for some kind of a retest. And that's always a great way to go. The other area, and I'll come back to Apple to use as an example, has to do with watching this 8-day moving average along with the momentum shift. And when that happens and you get your initial close above, or if you have a reversal candlestick off of strong support to take a trade here, but let's say you miss that, watch the pullbacks into the this is an 8-day moving average, but also the 8-week moving average to watch the bounces off of that. It makes an exceptionally good line of demarcation for planning your pullback trades, because if it blows past that, you're really close to your stop out position. So anyway, and so right now, Apple is on its way back up. Will it get past the 34? We don't know. Will it get past the 50? We don't know. But what we see is, just as the jackhammer effect from the top works, the jackhammer effect from the bottom works. If you don't know what that is where price action takes up, rams into a moving average and starts to bend it back the other way. And that's exactly what's happening with Apple right now. Okay, let's see. I'm going to jump down here to Alphabet. So Alphabet, another example of, we've taken off, we've broken back above this downtrend line. So that's a nice little gap up right there. So we can look at Google, if you want to buy Google, is we've got a nice gap up to provide you some support. Remember, the middle point of the gap is the strongest level of support. But we may just pull right back into that, back up to the downtrend line, or correction, uptrend line, and it would bounce from there. It's interesting that it stopped almost dead in the water right where that's at. Let me take a look at one thing here. What I can do is, since this is appearing like it is a reversal signal, I'm going to go ahead and move my uptrend line to basically coincide with that low. And so look for a pullback. One of the things, as I was saying earlier, what I've done is I've swapped out the Kelner channel that I was using, which was based off the 20-day moving average. I've replaced it with one that works off of the 8-period moving average with a 1.5 ATR extension to the wings. And both on weekly and daily charts, and even the intraday charts, if you're an intraday trader, I find that that about 90 plus 95 or more percent of the price action is contained within the Keltner channel. And utilizing the midsection, I use the 8-period exponential moving average based on the open, high, low, close divided by 4. That's what basically makes up my midsection. And it is phenomenal on strong moves up. Now, let me go back here real quick and just take a look real quick at Nvidia. This is kind of a bonus for everybody. Okay, I hope you don't mind. Look what Nvidia has done. I'm gonna get rid of that. Remove that. Notice when after it started its takeoff down here about the 470 level and closed above the 8-week moving average, we did a pullback into the 8-week, and then we touched it a couple of times, and then rocket shipped out. Had one opportunity where it came close right there, down to about the 672. But if you're trying to get into a stock that is like a rocket ship, like Nvidia here, utilizing that 8-week and 8-day moving average as your line of demarcation for defining your trigger and utilizing that to do your conditional orders, it has been working out exceptionally well. I know Jake, you've been kind of using the 8-day a lot, right? And that's been working out for you pretty well? Of course, you can't talk to me other than via the comments. So here I'm waiting for a response. So let's see. Okay, we talked about Google. Google looks pretty good. Meta, same. Meta had a really nice breakout, came back, retested into the and it's just driving sideways. It's just driving sideways. And the other way I love to try and to use these Keltner channels is when I get into a horizontal holding pattern. When it drops down into the bottom of the Keltner channels, that becomes my trigger area to be able to do a trade. Why? Because it's so darn close to it. One, it's a level of support. And so if I'm making a trade down here off this level of support, waiting for my momentum to shift back up, I can go ahead and nibble a little bit here. I don't want to nibble per se where it's at right now because I'm almost back up to a resistance level. And so this is low probability. Down here would be a high probability and low risk type of entry level. Any questions about that? And so did we cover Microsoft? I don't think so. Microsoft continuing to work its way back up into the upper side of the Keltner channel. Looking at a weekly on that, yeah, notice, it came down about the $400 mark and is bouncing up. Notice on all the on the majority of Mag 7 stocks, though, is they do not have a they're really not moving that much. They're just big, high value stocks. And then Redo comes back in with Chipotle Grill. It's 50-1. Okay. So it'll bring the NAV back down to about $55. Certainly helps with the option traders. Yeah, this is true. Nice rally. Okay. And let's see. Which of I think I've covered all the Magnificent Seven with the exception of Amazon. Amazon's really actually it's stuck in a sideways channel for right now. We'll see if we break out the top of the channel or if we just come up and hit the top of the channel and then retreat back down to the lower section of it. So we've got some support on that, down about 174 all the way down to about 172 on Amazon. Amazon, as I said, is one of the stronger of the Magnificent Sevens. Right now, Amazon, Nvidia, uh, Google, Meta, and Microsoft look pretty good in the Magnificent Seven area. We'll have to wait on Tesla, and also Apple was looking a little bit weak, but that's what we've got going on. One of the things, and this is just, you can take a look at this if you like, is let's say you don't want to buy, the $175 Tesla. Take a look at this entity. This is the 1.5 times leveraged ETF for Tesla, TSLL. If you're an option trader, it actually has great weekly options. And so it is basically just going through the same process as Tesla, but it runs at 1.5 times as much. And so this little move here that we commented about, some time ago, that was a 26% move. On Tesla, that was only a did you see there? About a 17% move. So it's another idea for you. Okay. Let's jump on over and let's take a look at a couple of these other entities that I have been watching very closely. And I want to start with, we're getting a nice bounce off of TQQQ. If you have not researched trading the 3-time leveraged ETF on the NASDAQ, I encourage you to do that. Not as a recommendation, but just basically, we trade this a lot with the AutoPilot trading service, and it is looking pretty good for a potential move back up to the upside. We're getting a break back above the 8-day moving average, and so I would have no problem in trying to put in an order around the 8-period moving average tomorrow if I wasn't so full with the rest of the positions that we have on. Because I like, right now I'm 2 positions over where I like to be. I like to be somewhere between 7 to 8 open positions, and right now I'm sitting at about 10. And so we got filled on a lot more stuff this week than we thought we were going to, but looking really good here. Again, you may want to modify the uptrend line to take in consideration that low, but we'll see what happens with that. And what when I do activate that, there we go. I will stretch it back down over to here. What you'll find is, as an entity, a stock or an ETF goes into it continues up with its uptrend, what you'll find is it will shallow out, and this is very positive, it will shallow out your uptrend slope to get it closer to like a 45-degree angle, which is one that is much easier to maintain. If the slope of the uptrend line is too steep, it has a tendency to fail more often. So TQQ, this is looking really good. So now let's take a look at, a lot of people are looking to trade coin, right? Coin. And coin is an excellent entity. As you can see, it basically broke back up today. That came down into the Fibonacci retracement from this low here to this high here. So it came down almost to the top of it at 38%. And now we're getting a really nice rebound today. And again, I don't know how much of an issue it is due to, as you said, Graham, regarding the split that's going on with Bitcoin. I'll have to research that a little bit later today. But it's getting a nice tick to the upside. Everything, this is the weekly chart. Momentum is all in gear to the upside, and then had a really nice flag down. And so if I was interested in trading coin, again, I would hone in on trading it off of the 8-day moving average. And tomorrow, the 8-day moving average is going to be about 241. 241. But I want to talk about the redheaded stepchildren for a second. And when I say redheaded stepchildren, I'm talking about some of the non-coin miners or affiliates with the crypto space. And one of them is Mara. This is Marathon. And Marathon's, we've been talking about this for quite a while. We were waiting for a point. It basically came down from up here all the way down into the magic fib box. That's the 38 to 618 retracement area from one of the fib moves. But this has just, I mean, it's a powerful entity that moves a lot really fast. And this is an indication of that. When we came down and bounced up above the moving averages, came down to retest, and then took off from there. There's two different points. One, it ran 88% in 8 days, and then it followed on up 109% in 21 days. There's a potential, and I'll show you what this is looking for prices to, basically stop right here and then rally back up to at least 30, I would say 29.85 up to $30, maybe as high as 33.83. And if it does that, that would be an excellent move up of about approximately 96%. And if it did, and how does this work? Well, basically, the fundamentals on both Mara and the next stock I'm going to show you are poor. They're not great. And so what happens though is the technicals are really outstanding. They're following a pattern that once we've identified it, we can then follow it along, because entities tend to repeat past patterns, partly because the psychology of the people who are trading it is the same, because it's the same people trading it, right? So it reflects their personality, their trading style, and the whole 9 yards. So what I've been looking on Mara is there was an opportunity to get in, like down in this area, down in here, about the when it bounced down earlier came down earlier this week, because it had some support from this level up here. But now we've broken back above the 8, and tomorrow the 8 is going to be about $20.50. So I would put an alert here. I would not place a conditional order to buy it at that level right now, but I would definitely put an alert at that level. And then if my alert is triggered, then I can go look at the chart, look at the intraday chart to see if there's anything I want to do on this. Now we are, some of our members are already in this. The other stock that I just absolutely I not love. What do they say? Marry your system, but only date your stocks. That's. So here's a stock that I also would that I look forward to dating. And after we're dating it right now, we basically filled in down here about the 1060 level. The AutoPilot members got an alert on Monday. Then we were going to trigger in down here. We got in down here, and now it is taking back up. If it fulfills its move back up to this same level, well, from where we got in down here up to that level, look at that. That's about 65%. How long did it take to move that far from over here? Well, just grab it. Well, there's 78% in 9 days and 79% in 21 days. So being able to capture that kind of return over that period of time really helps with your compounding a lot. Now, am I in a full position on this? No, I'm not. I'm not, betting the farm. I'm not backing up the truck yet. Maybe Jake may be backing up the truck. I don't know. but it wouldn't make, it would be a good idea to say, hey, okay, I can keep my stops tight. I may be able to take a little bit more exposure, uh, and with the expectation it's going to move up. Because you got to remember, okay, today from high to low, there's my low, high, yeah, low. Okay, it's gone 9%. It's gone 10%, over 10%. So that's absolutely awesome. So I like this one also. Makes it, as you notice, it did not come back to the 8-day when it did this big move up, except this one time. And then it gave you one last surge. Again, I go to your left. What has it done in the past? And so it repeats these type of patterns, because here was another big one. This was November of last year. And it ran 101% in 43 days, calendar days. And so I really like that. And so right on. So let's see, if miners get only half per Bitcoin, then it hits their revenue. Yeah, it does. And so that's what it's going to be interesting. What's going on with the miners right now, Reddit? Because Reddit, the miners are kind of going into a really huge rally type thing. And so I wonder what else they know. And so, yeah, Jorge, let me take a look at GTLB. This is, as you can see, I have my 200-day moving average identified there. And this is, what is this? This is, did I write that down right? Because I am not, what do these guys do? Are they, what is GTLB? What do they do? Okay, software. Okay, great. Yeah, right now, let's take a look back. Okay, let's go bouncing back. Now, one of the things I do is, okay, that looks pretty good. What's my volume? Yeah, volume's good. The volume's low, but here to see if we get a bounce back up. Because, I mean, it could get a nice bounce. From a technical standpoint, since this is a lower low, a low, yeah, it's a lower low of this move. I would like to see it tested. Okay, and so we are getting a nice rally, but this rally is on really crappy volume. You see right there, really low volume. Its average volume it's half the volume of its average volume. So it makes it suspect to me, but it could basically bounce back up. The other thing I like to do is I'll go over and I will check the Investor Business Daily pre-flight check, not the pre-flight check, the Investor Business Daily. I will go and check their stock checkup to see how see what its fundamentals are. And I would definitely do that before doing anything with that. So what are my frogs? What are my thoughts on frog and Mobileye? I don't know. Let's take a check. Let's take a look. And so what time we got here? Yeah, we'll bop off and do a couple of stocks and then get everybody back to their trading desk before. So Mobileye. Okay, Mobileye. Yeah, now on Mobileye, yeah, a little bit over the average on its where is okay. So yeah, so that's looking pretty good, Jake. I would again, I would want to go back and double check, see what's going on with my fundamentals to see if it is a strong. I know it has been in the past, but I just want to make sure that it's still fundamentally sound, because this was a big, huge drawback. But this is a really pretty pattern in that we came up, hit the Keltner channel, then pulled back. Notice the positive divergence going on here. And then it came back, sell off, take some profit, and then is rallied back from there. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jorge. And so Mobileye. So yeah, I like Mobileye basically from a technical standpoint. And this is one of those, Jake, where you could keep your eyeball on it on the 8-week moving average. And let's see what else we got going on here. And the other one was Frog. So of the two, I like Frog best. And the reason why, from a technical standpoint, is it's above all its moving averages. This is very positive. The drawback, low volume breakout. And and how much does it go? And this is nice, it did a nice little, yeah. So yeah, not bad. When I say not bad, I'm looking, when it's getting a big move like this, I'm looking 20+%. I'd like to see that as a potential move, because that way, if it repeats that from this level here, it would be another 40%. So that's awesome. So, okay, guys, that basically, hey, thanks for joining me today. I hope, let me know what was your high point of today. Anything you can say, hey, I like the stock review. I like the market, if you're generous over there. Hey, Michael, how you doing over there on Instagram? Glad you're there. And also give me some suggestions on what else you would like to see during this Market Tech Talk weekly, and I will work that in. So if you want to know about the 12 pain points of trading that all traders go through, some of us manage better than others, I'm doing a live session for the Bay Area Moneymakers out of San Jose, California, today at 6 o'clock Pacific time. And that will be posted over on the YouTube channel, or if you are a BAM member, you received a webinar, and we'll do that on there. Jorge, thank you very much, sir. The Magnificent Seven, it's almost like the stocks you have to be invested in, but it's better to, have an idea of where you want to invest in it. So, as we like to say here in the islands, aloha, God bless everybody. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. See ya.